Welcome to this week's episode of the British Electric Blues Show. As usual, it's our special time that we can spend with you guys. I look forward to this show. We have a very good friend of the show joining us, and we'll mention him shortly. But in the meantime, I will introduce you to my co-host. Here he is, all the way from... Where are you again, Simon? Where are you from? Bristol.
Bristol, or near Bristol in England. Yep, the UK.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere in the UK. I'll get it right one day.
Over in the West Country.
Over in the West Country. Okay.
Over in the West Country. Yep. Where I'm
How are you, my friend?
130 miles west of London.
Fantastic. Well, we all know where London is. All roads lead to London, or is that all roads lead to Rome?
All roads lead to Rome.
Oh, okay. But in our case, all roads lead to London.
Quite a lot of the roads lead to London. Yes, quite a lot of the roads near me lead to London. The motorways leads the M4 leads to London stuff. So
cheers. I've got my Coke.
Yeah. I got my cup of tea going.
I've got my 5150 T-shirt on.
Anything on of any import.
In preparation for our special guest today, who we share some similarities. So shall we introduce him before he buggers off and goes? You know, what are these guys doing? Am I going to be on here or not?
Yeah. Quick, yes, I say.
Okay,
quick.
we'll better get him in. Superman, also known as Mitch. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you guys?
The Flying Hayman. Excellent.
Yeah. that's what I was doing all evening. I was messing around with. I was playing guitar in the daytime, practicing what I was needed to practice, and then just tonight I'm doing all this kind of stuff. But this is I can't. The green screen won't work in here. I don't know why. It says it won't work in my browser. I don't know why.
Oh, that made my week last week. It's just fantastically funny.
It's even more funny. What I did tonight was even more funny.
Really? Oh, have you put something up? Oh well.
I didn't load it. I just downloaded all these. So I actually got I'm flying, but I actually got Superman. He's flying in there too. The real Superman.
Oh, you're flying with Superman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, welcome, my friend. I just want to do a quick shout out to a couple of regulars in the chat before we get into it. We've got Arvin Gaunt here. I'm sure you know Arvin. We've got DT and Simon and Andrew.
He's a new person, DT. So good morning, DT.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, DT.
Yeah.
But we've been under your umbrella for a little while, I think. I've been watching your channel there for a while, Mitch, and you've been jumping in the chat the last couple of weeks. I suppose we can put that down to retirement, that you've got the time to do all these YouTube shows. So we appreciate that.
I don't sleep.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it must be an age thing. I don't sleep either much. Terrible.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 hours of sleep if I'm lucky.
Really? Bad luck. I like more than that. But
I do too, but I don't get it.
No, sadly not. Well, yeah. So, Mitch, where are you? Whereabouts do you live? Where do you live?
I'm in Hanover, Pennsylvania. It's about 200 miles southwest of New York City, roughly. So, on the East Coast.
Is it warm?
It cooled down yesterday. It's comfortable. It's not real humid. We had a real humid summer, very humid, but the last couple of days it really cooled down. So that's
got
good.
Nicer. Well, as we get into autumn, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hanover, see, Germany.
Yeah, it was founded by Germans.
Was it German immigrants? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite an old town, I guess, is it? It's kind of.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not big. It's where you know where if you're familiar with Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where the Civil War.
Yeah.
I'm about 12 miles from there. 15 miles from there. I'm real close to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history here.
Yeah, you got Civil War history and.
Yeah.
Things we have to be careful with.
Yeah, and if things don't get better here, I'm going to be moving in with you guys. Things don't get better in the United States. I don't know. Just saying.
No problem. We got plenty of room. We got plenty of room here, and in fact, some of the elites from your society are coming over here on a regular basis. So, yeah. But we won't talk politics. But
No.
I'd just like to mention the fact that I met you through a key person that we all met through, and that's through the Johnny Bean show. I think a couple of years ago, I think you were in the Discord in the lounge there, and I popped in there and we had a conversation, and you were talking about learning some. I think at that stage you were learning Eruption by Eddie Van Halen. How did that go?
Well done, blimey.
I was getting there, but then I haven't picked it up. Then you lose whatever you did gain. I start going from one thing to another. I mean, I still like to, I if I don't play something, I'll forget it. And I was getting kind of close where it sounded pretty decent. But then I got back into playing guitars. Now, if you want me to go back, I started playing guitars, I guess 1969, 1970, around there. My father got me a cheap guitar, took a couple lessons, just very few. And I played, but I didn't have it. I don't have the God-given talent where some of these young kids, you can pick it up and they're great right off the bat. So,
Mitch, what sort of lessons did you have in 1969? What was on offer for lessons?
He teach me how to read music. I think I might have had 3 or 4 lessons. I mean, he was actually cheating the E, A, D, G, B, every good boy does fine, all that. But I didn't. It was only 4 lessons, and it was a K guitar. If you ever heard of them,
K, absolutely.
And it was like $15, and then the action was like that, something like that. I didn't know any better, But
we'll present you. How high was that action? I'm going to present you.
It was high. Yeah. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but But what got me into the guitar? A couple things actually. The James Bond movies, the James Bond theme, which I still love today. That thing, because I was a big James Bond fanatic when I was a little kid. I mean, I would walk. These days, you kids don't walk far, but I would walk like, I don't know, it might have been 7 miles to the movie theater to see James Bond movie theater. It was only playing at this one movie theater, and I would walk like 7 miles or whatever it was. But so I was playing on and off, and so like in, I guess 50 years I've been playing on and off, but I would have periods of like maybe I didn't touch a guitar in 10 years. Because I bought I had Telecasters, Stratocasters. Well, I bought some used ones back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. But I never stayed with it. And I got out and would sell it. And then back, I guess in 2001, my one of the guys that lived near me, we actually worked together. He got a guitar for himself. He got one for his son. So I said, I'm going to get back into it. So I bought it. It was an Ibanez. I don't know what it was, S370 or something. It had a Floyd Rose on it. I don't know what this thing is. All I knew was every time I hit down on it, would get out of tune. I could never keep it in tune. And I actually took lessons too then for like 3 months. And this guy was a wonderful guitar player. Oh, he goes, you'll be playing like me in no time, which never happened. Yeah, he was really.
And he was right. There was no time when I played like him.
Well, but he could shred and everything. But so I kind of didn't play it much. Then I guess in 2015, I said I'm gonna, like here in the States, you have your employer, you get like a 401k. You can put money in there, but you can't take it. It doesn't get taxed until you take it out. Anyway, so 59 and a half, you can take it out without getting penalized. Some, I took some of that. So I'm going to get back into playing guitar. But I'm going to get a nice one. I'm going to get a Fender Stratocaster, and I can get that over here. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
So 2015, I got back into playing for real. And so I got this, I ordered it from a local music store. It's an American Deluxe Strat, which they don't make anymore.
Nice.
It's got the humbucker there, and it's got the noiseless pickups. I love it. I had the things, I can press down on it. Oh, it's dirty as anything. But, yeah, I'm not much on the tremolo. But this thing plays great. But I got some elbow problems now. I'm having trouble lifting things.
Okay.
So I got that.
Of course, everyone needs a Strat.
That's the only.
That's right.
I wasn't planning to get anything else, but 7 guitar. I got 6 guitars after, or more after that. Actually, I presently have 7 guitars right now, and the most recent one was this.
Oh, look at that, the Telly.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Of course.
American Professional Telecaster.
Oh my gosh.
And I was going to look at it like a Mexican player series. Yeah. And my wife says, well, you better get what you want and make sure it's what you want. And then I guess it was Hack. Hack tried all 3. He tried the Mexican.
Yep. And
he tried the which was the player series. But I forget which is which. There was like 3 different ones he tried. And the best one was the Professional.
Yeah.
And so
there was a clear difference between them.
He said, that's what he said. And I saw some other videos. I forgot what that middle one, DFD. Well, there's another American less than this. And this was up from the Professional, from the, somebody will know the chat.
Standard, is it, or something?
I forgot what the other one was, but, this is really nice. I mean, I want to learn how to play some country licks, but this thing is great. You can play anything on it. It sounds great. And I've been playing, working on some AC/DC stuff lately, and it just sounds great to me.
Yeah. What's the neck like, Mitch? It's
called Deep C. I think I call it a Deep C, and it's got.
Sounds like mine.
I think medium tall frets, something like that. I forget what it is. But to me, it doesn't matter what guitar. As long as the neck is not real, I like a wider neck. And these are a little not quite as wide as some of the other ones. But this is good. This doesn't bother me. I can adjust to anything,
Even it doesn't bother you that much.
In other words, I'm just as sloppy on this one as I am on my other ones. So yeah.
Do you set up your own guitars, Mitch? Are you competent enough to work on? No, you got a luthier?
Not at all. Yeah, I got a local music store, and I took it to him. I got this off of Sweetwater, and I took it to my local guy. And it's only like $60 or $50 or $60. I mean, I know a Telly's supposed to be one of the easiest ones to set up, but I don't know. I don't have patience. It's funny because I'll work on computers, and computers can be a pain in the butt. You know what I mean? If something's wrong, you troubleshoot. But I won't work on my guitars.
I'm a bit the same. I work in IT, and I just take it to a man and give him, as you say, 40 or 50 quid. Set it up, do a fret dress, and we've got a brilliant luthier in Bristol where I live called Johnny Kincaid. Builds guitars as well. He's built guitars for a long time. So I tend to, every once in a while, I'll take it to him because it's like 90 quid for a setup. But it's a really good one. And then in the meantime, I might use my local shop. They have a luthier and it's about £40. So I kind of alternate between the two. I get a posh one every 2 or 3 years. And
Susie.
And I get an ordinary one for the rest of it, which seems to work.
But I can tell you this. I said when I got into playing, the Stratocaster was about like $1,400 American dollars, right? I said, I'm not going to buy a guitar. That's the most expensive I ever paid for a guitar, right? I said, I'll never pay more than that. Well, until I got this.
Wow.
So this is like,
oh yes,
maybe like $1,000 more than the Strat.
Yeah. So that's about 2,500, is it?
It's like 2,400 I paid. Something
What's
like
that? 2017? Is that 2017?
It's a 19.
19.
I got a year last year. A Les Paul Standard.
And that's the last bit of the old regime, is it? That one? I seem to
What do you mean old regime?
Well, I mean before JT.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't have to. It's that much different from what?
No, I didn't. No, it's just yeah. I just wanted. I mean, and it was fine when you got it. It was sort of, you know.
Yeah, actually, this is a standard. I got a classic. There's something about it. Like, I took it back. Then and I really wanted that one. I got that one. It was more, but this has it's got these high-end electronics in it where it's got, I don't know, 100 and some odd different total sounds I could get. It's got dip switches in the back. And a lot of people, a lot of people don't like it. You know, you'll see, they just said it's terrible and everything. I don't mess with it. I don't mess with the dip switches. I just keep whatever default it is. But I think it's a great guitar. I think it sounds great.
And what do the dip switches do?
You just move them around. Depending on how you move them, you can get like 101. I forget exactly what.
Yeah.
Different types of sound.
Do you have to take the back plate off?
You take the back plate off.
It's not something you do mid song.
No. It's, there's just switches in there. You just and it'll tell you what. But I mean, I'm not interested in that. I got it for the color more than anything. I love that color.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, but I like it. Me and 2 3/4 Jams, if you know who he is, Don.
Yep.
Yeah.
He got almost the same one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But do you think? I mean, have you fiddled with the dip switches at all, or do you just leave it on the standard setting?
I never even took it off. Nope. I mean, it's got a push-pull pot. I don't even mess. A lot of my guitars have push-pull pots, and I really don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's on the bridge. But the Telecaster, I like all 3 positions on there. I like the neck pickup; sounds really good too.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? About, you know, the sounds is all of the pickups.
If you're in the Dire Straits, which I like at least one of their songs, it's great for them. Really good for them. Well, so is the Stratocaster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, I'm like all on it myself because my camera looks so good. I've had this camera for maybe a year and a half to so, and I maybe did 1 or 2 live streams with it. But you had to have a lot of light, which I just learned, and it looks pretty good for a camcorder.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, you know, as you develop and go online more and more, there's equipment that you can buy to make your streaming experience a lot better. You can put some money into it, really. I mean, a lot of money. Yeah. Well, I don't want to drop a ton of money.
It took me forever to get $3 up to put that stuff on the wall back there. 3 whole American dollars.
Well, you know, guitars are more important. You know, green screen can wait.
But I spent $3, but and it works. But it's tape. It's falling off. I actually ordered a 9x15 cloth one.
Oh. So the tape failed.
Well, I just put it on there. But we have these. I don't know what you have there in your country, but we have these dollar stores. Nothing's over $1. So they have these plastic tape. Plastic tablecloths, 54 by 108 inches. So I bought like 4 of them. I only got 3 of them up on there, but it works. It's working. It's actually working.
Yeah. Well. After watching your video last week, and we debuted it on the show. I'm keen to experiment with a green screen myself. But I'll probably do that over the summer period.
You have to have the room. I got a very small room. It's like 10 by 10, and with this camera, it doesn't have a wide angle lens. I mean, I got a lens that I added to it, but it's still not as wide as the C920.
Yeah.
Can we say hello to the guys in the chat? I feel like there's a few people. So it's good morning, DT, Arvin, and we've got Mickey Settlemeyer. Good morning, Mickey. And we've got Susie Cherry. So good morning, Susie. Thanks for joining. And Great Vanzini has just joined as well. So morning, Great Vanzini. Hope you're good.
Yeah, awesome. If you guys haven't already subscribed to our show, please do. And that's probably a good opportunity for me to say, if you think that anything that Simon, Mitch, and I are saying tonight is interesting, please share our show with your friends on social media. We'll appreciate any subscriptions to get us up to 1,000. We would appreciate that. So thank you. But Mitch, it's our pleasure to have you on board. I've been a friend through social media with you now for a couple of years. I'm a little bit like you as far as gear goes, and progressing and picking up the guitar and then coming back to the guitar and then concentrating on the guitar. I agree with you. I think to be good at the guitar, you've got to play it consistently. There's no way around it. You can't pick up the guitar once a week or once a month. You have to play it every night, or certainly every second day. But so what music got you interested in the guitar in the first place? Simon and I, the main topic of our show is British blues and that British rock and roll kind of genre. So you want to share with us some of the?
Well, I was saying earlier, what got me into the guitar, I just love the way it sounded, like hearing that James Bond theme. And I think the kid across the street from me when I was a kid, he got a little plastic guitar. I just thought it was something. And then starting to get to be an early teenager, 13, 14 years old. You're listening to Jimi Hendrix. And wow, that sounds good. Or I remember 10 years after, I liked some of their stuff and love the Rolling Stones. I'm a classic rock guy, and I still am to this day.
Yep.
Everything I'm trying to learn how is like from the 80s and before, probably most of the stuff. I love AC/DC, and I saw them in 1986 or 87. I saw them, and I'm pretty sure I lost some of my hearing because of that. I was so close to it. And I try to emulate them, and they're not, people say, oh, they play basic chord. Yeah, but you got to play those basic chords the way he's playing it to sound right. I'm struggling to do stuff. And another thing at my age, I'm fighting arthritis. I don't know if any of you guys have that. Now I got something going on my elbow, and it's driving me crazy. Oh, yeah.
You hold that up, Simon. I thought that was just your wrinkle picker, but it's actually...
No. That's a thick finger. See that? Compare to this. Be careful, Simon. See, I've got a thick thing. Yeah, that kind of hurts. And
oh, really?
Various ways. Yeah, a bit. Yeah, a bit.
But right now, it doesn't keep me from playing anything. So
no, my thumb on this hand tends to hurt here as well. So I sympathise with that. Oh, just take some Nurofen and carry on.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for pain. That's got to stick. Is that better?
And I cough a lot.
I can say that pleasingly, the guitarist who played the original James Bond theme is a man called Vic Flick. Vic Flick played the theme to the Flicks.
I don't know if I ever learned it because I did learn how to play it one time. Of course, I forgot it. Yeah. That's one thing about YouTube. Just think if they had YouTube when we were children, we all would be great now.
Yeah,
maybe.
I didn't. I've said this before. I didn't know anything about the guitar. I had a guitar like you. I had an acoustic guitar with the accent about that when you got to the A fret, and you learned to play on that stuff. But I never knew anybody who did lessons like that. I mean, I knew people who did lessons like the ones you had. Let's learn to play. Learn all the. My dad was a composer, so he could teach me how to read music. I didn't need to go out of the house to do that. But I couldn't find anybody who could teach kind of modern sort of rock guitar, not in 1972. And it was, and of course, the other thing I didn't know anything about was setting up a guitar. A setup was arrived in my life in about the 90s. When I before that, and things like intonation and stuff like that, I'd never even heard those words, and I don't remember hearing them until the 90s. When you suddenly realise what intonation was and action and those things and how to adjust them. I'd never heard any of it.
I never paid attention to pickups. I had some guitars with like humbuckers. I couldn't tell you what a humbucker was. I actually had a Les Paul back in, I think in the 80s. It was called the Paul, and it just came out recently with the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
I had one of that thing played great, and I got rid of it. I wish I would have kept it.
Just did, yeah. While you were talking, I was looking up the what the dip switches do in your guitar. It's quite interesting. The first two turns a coil tap into a coil split.
Yeah, it does all. Yeah,
and then it does in and out of phase. But then you've got a high pass filter and stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so you set it up how you want. As a kind of
I just
coil taps to do.
It sounds fine. Just the way whatever is on there now. I don't mess with it.
Turn it on. There we go. Off you go. Rock and roll machine.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I just wonder what they did. As sort of. I mean, I know obviously Gibson went for the tuner technology, but I didn't realize they'd done a kind of, you could set it up the way you wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Have they done away with it now? Have they done away with that now?
Did they? I think some of the first. Actually, some of the first songs you learned to play, at least for me, was like "House of the Rising Sun," then Beatles. I mean, not Beatles. I'm sorry. The Rolling Stones, "Jumpin' Jack Flash," and "Satisfaction," and "Brown Sugar." I love all that stuff. Still do.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a lot on here about the fact that that those songs are quite easy to learn. You can learn them by ear. You can learn the chords, they're kind of quite major chords-ish and kind of not difficult. There's not sort of,
Well, they have. What's that Rolling Stone tuning? Is it G tuning or something like that? I've never messed with any of that. I mean, I was always, I could just learn from other people how to play. Although it does sound good when they do that alternate tuning for some of these Rolling Stone songs.
Yeah. But the early stuff is not, of course, is not alternative tunings. It's standard tuning stuff. Satisfaction is still standard, isn't it, Andrew? Yeah.
Oh well, it was originally recorded standard, but they play it in Open G, and Keith plays it with the capo on the fourth fret.
Right. So yeah, but it was recorded as a standard tuning song. Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah. Yes, I thought that was the case. So yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I learned "House of the Rising Sun" and I learned some early Bob Dylan stuff and things like that because that's what you need to learn. You need to learn songs. You need to, the first thing people ask you when you play the guitar, give us a song then. So you had to have something to play, didn't you?
I wasn't too much.
You taught yourself, Mitch. You taught yourself.
For the most part, I mean, I might have taken maybe like in the 50 years, maybe 5 months of lessons total, something like that, from maybe five or six different people. But it was just like I said, I don't have talent. Whatever I do halfway to make it sound good. But I had guitar teachers. It's one guitar teacher. He's a little younger than me. He's trying to teach me Money for Nothing. And I couldn't get it. I couldn't see what he's doing. And he's like getting frustrated because I couldn't. And needless to say, I didn't go back to him. But now I can watch it on YouTube, and I'll get it pretty quick now. That's all.
Slow it down. Yeah.
I mean, YouTube's got a real nice slower down, but I use VLC. It's got a slow down feature in that because I'll download a lot of my videos while watching it.
VLC. What's VLC?
A video player. media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's free. They're always updating it. It's got a good, you can slow down, without losing the pitch. But then again, like YouTube's got a slow down feature too, if you want to.
It has, yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, it's a Mac thing. There we are. So, see, look, Susie Cherry in the chat, she says she learnt everything about setting up and setting up guitars and an Ibanez for floating tone guitar setups. Way ahead. Well done, Susie. I'm impressed by that. Somebody's managed to sort it
anything
out.
with a Floyd Rose, I'm not going to touch anything with that.
No, Andrew, you've got a Floyd Rose guitar, haven't you?
Yeah, I set my own Floyd Roses up
own?
now. Yeah, and I've managed to fluke them. I took my first guitar that I had a Floyd Rose to my luthier, who does pretty good work. He's been in the industry for a while, and when I got it back from him, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did to the Floyd Rose, but it was just it was horrible. So like a lot of us, this was about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Like a lot of us, we jumped on YouTube, and there's a few good cats on YouTube showing you how to do it. And I think like a lot of things, Simon and Mitch and guys in the chat, you've got to watch it a few times, and give it a crack. And I was amazed actually about how well I did it, because I'm not a techie kind of guy. But that gave me the confidence, though, to make a couple of other tweaks and other changes, to change the relief on my neck and stuff like that, But I stay within my, my comfort zone. I don't push myself. So hold on, Mitch, you're going to show something to us.
Look at that. It's beautiful, Mitch. Look at
that. This is Ibanez Prestige AMH 652, something like that. And it's got their version of the Floyd Rose. Whatever, but it's not it's not a Floyd Rose, but it's like a Floyd Rose. But I had this device put in. You have to take the lid off. Where this device on there, it's got 3 buttons. I press one button, it can make it completely floating. The other button will make it where I can only press down. The other button will just lock it down altogether. So that thing was like, I forgot. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody in the chat might know what it's called. And because I like to bend, bend strings and play, double stops, whatever. But with a Floyd Rose type, sometimes the tuning doesn't sound right. But now it does. Since I had that put in. But this is a real nice guitar. It's got a wide neck, which I really like. I mean wide. It's a really thin neck, but it's wide for my fat fingers.
Can you show the profile, Mitch? Can you show? Yeah. I think my Chapman has a very similar profile to that. It's kind of
bird's eye maple. It's got DiMarzio Air Nortons, and I forgot what the other one is. But it's a nice, really nice guitar.
Yeah.
Well, the people in the chat are liking that guitar. Susie's saying pretty. Great Manzini saying beautiful color. And everyone else is basically agreeing in the chat. Too much saying that you need to watch a few videos and have a go and see what you can do. And if you do something bad, just take it to the luthier and get him to fix it up. But don't be like Cheryl here, where she took a guitar to a guy, got ripped off. What she's saying here, ripped off, adjusted the neck, still had buzz, and said, "Hang on, the wood stretches."
Is that the guitar equivalent of it'll ride up with wear, sir?
well, depending on the time of season, it will. You will have some fluctuation going on. It's pretty humid in here. My guitars, they don't go in the boxes, so whatever, winter, summer is what it's going to be. But I haven't seen nothing like maybe some of my cheaper guitars. Certain times of the year, you might feel some fret sprout a little bit, but then it gets heals itself depending on the weather.
I mean, I don't know about the UK. I mean, I'm like, I have my guitars. Well, I have them out pretty much, but yeah, I've never experienced any of them having issues from summer to winter and winter to summer and fret sprout and all of those things. Maybe because pretty much all of them are second hand. But no, I've never experienced that. Oddly, never experienced any that I noticed any particular changes that my guitars have been.
But I don't think you get to I might be wrong, but I don't think you get to humidity.
I don't think we do.
It gets really humid. I mean, but then it can get dry in there's fall and winter. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, Mitch, do you play live? Have you gigged?
The only time I'm going to gig is from somebody's YouTube video. Now, I have no intention. I have no intention to gig with any. I got a buddy of mine. He lives out this way. Unless we just do something together in here, but no, I just don't.
Is that our opportunity, or is it
I'm not interested.
Never been interested. Not even as a 14.
No, well, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I was in band. I was in a band. I was in one band that we made some money.
Well done.
Yeah, I mean, just we play like what they call bull roast out here. What was the other things? Not weddings, and I couldn't. The only kind of riffs I could do was like a Johnny B. Good riff, and the band they were satisfied with it. They played a lot of Beatles, Beach Boys, and stuff like that. And but I wasn't happy because I can't be playing the same riffs for every song, all the time. And so I just quit the band. But that was the only time I ever made any money in the band. Yeah, we had other bands. We just went up practicing. Or then, you try to audition for a band and goes, some of these guys, hey, you need to find another hobby. Don't play guitar and stuff like that. So now at my age, I'm having a ball. I can find a backing track on YouTube, and I'll love it. And that's what I'm doing. So
nothing. Susie, I'm with you. I too am a Fender man at heart. I think I have three Fenders. Not much, 2 Chapmans and what else have I got? Something else. Anyway, but I'm a man with 3 Fender, 2 Strats and a Telly. All bases covered.
I never, I would like to try, a Sir guitar, but they're so expensive, I think. And
I've played a Sir.
Are they that much different than a Stratocaster, or?
I mean, I know it's a cliche, but it's true. It is the law of diminishing returns. I've played a £4,000 Sir,
right?
And it's it's quite similar to my Chapman guitar in neck profile, a bit like that Ibanez. It's got it's not too, but when you play it, it's just. For me, I didn't think to myself, wow, this is a £4,000 guitar. Well, I did have a sort of 5-minute go on it, kind of, sort of proper go on it. In the end, it's just, did it feel wildly better than any of my guitars? No, it didn't.
Right.
It felt obviously a bit different because it's a different guitar, but it's quite a Strat type guitar. I play Strats. It was very comfortable to play, and I could play it fine. But I'm not sure that I could say. I mean, I played a £10,000 PRS on the same thing as well.
Oh yeah.
And again, yes, it's beautifully made. The money is in its made, and obviously the neck is really nice and it all works and stuff. But is it? Could I say that a £1,000 guitar and they were 4 times better? No, I couldn't.
Right.
Really, it's a little bit, and. It is the law of diminishing returns. So that a guitar that costs £1,000 has quite a lot of QA set up and building it properly put into it, and a £4,000 guitar has more of that. But for the player, I don't think myself that I felt as though it was was it worth £4,000? But if you want to pay that, then it's worth £4,000.
And then
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
A custom guitar, how much is one of those custom Gibson Les Pauls?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
10 to 25 grand here, depending on which model. You know, how far, how deep it goes back into the custom shop.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I've never so far. You know, I got to play lots of really nice guitars on this Guitar Breaks holiday that I'd go on in Italy. You know, got to play some really nice guitars on that. It never felt as though my what was it, £1,000 Telecaster, for instance, was out of its depth. Never thought, God, this is a heap of junk. Or even my £500 Japanese Strat that I've had for 30 years. You know, I never felt as though that guitar, like out of my depth, or though this was a pile of junk compared to that. No, not in the slightest. Funnily enough, I felt like, yes, it's a beautiful guitar. You can tell the money's in the wood and in the man handcrafting it or woman handcrafting it, and all of that. I get all of that, and I get why they cost that amount of money, and but at the end of the day, playability wise, sound wise, is it? Did I think to myself, blimey? I've said this on here before. I had a chance to play my Fender, my Japanese Strat, against a 65 Strat. That somebody who came with some amps bought a 65 Strat and a 68. I think it was a 65 or a 66 and a 68 SG. So I got a chance to play my guitar against that 65 Strat, like one after the other, plugged into the same amp, same things, and sure, there's a difference in the sound. I mean, there is, definitely, mine's like that. Look at my hand. And then this one's like that. But I didn't think to myself, well, that's a pile of junk, Williams, isn't it? I'm going to go and spend £20,000 on a 65 because it's, but it was maybe 10% better. It wasn't like, it wasn't a 50% better. You didn't think, oh my God.
It's not worth the difference. No.
It wasn't worth the difference, no. And I think, and it's, I'd have if I could afford it, I'd have a Sir in a moment, because I think they're beautiful guitars, or a PRS. I think it's fine if you want to spend that. If you've got the money and you want to, that's absolutely fine. I mean, hats off to somebody who does, who's got the money. I don't have the money to do it. I've got children to pay for. So.
Yeah, I never envisioned myself spend as much as I have. I got the Helix. I said, and I got that on the spur of the moment, right? And so they have different ones. So I got the Helix Floor, and that was like, I think I got it for $1,400 and some US, and it's overkill for what I do. I got a THR-10X, which is like I paid $200 for it, practice amp.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't do much with it, but that sounds just as well. I can't say it sounds just as good. I got a Boss Katana. That was only $3 something, and if you use the software, it even opens up more doors for that. I turned that on like probably a year and a half. But the Helix is definitely overkill. But I'm not going to get rid of it. But actually, because I'm using it as an audio interface right now, that's how I'm hearing you guys. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put the same. I've got that old GT3 that I've got that I use. That's used for gigging and stuff because it has acoustic simulators and all sorts of stuff. And we play quite a wide the little band. I have a 2-piece with my friend Dave, and we play a lot of different stuff and you like different sounds and things. It's really used. It's fantastic for that. But it's I've tried later versions of it. I'd love to try a Boss GT1000 to see how it compares. But I tried a sort of a 10 or more later than that. I couldn't tell the difference between the sounds. Literally A, B in a back and forth with a switch. You're like, here's that sound there, here's this sound on here. Sounds the same. So,
I have a Black Star ID Core 10. Actually, I had a 22, but I got a 10. And it's just a practice amp. But that thing has great sounds. See, I do everything. I have to play all my stuff hooked up to the computer because my wife, she can't handle the noise, right? So everything I have it's got a USB connection. But for some reason, the THR-10X, I mean, not the THR-10X, the Black Star, it's got terrible software. I mean, everything works with it, but I can't use nothing else with it. It won't work right when I have that thing running. Whereas, like the THR-10X, I can use anything with it, or or the Boss Katana, I can still use it with it, and it works fine with OBS or whatever. So,
do you think, Mitch, that the Helix is it? It's obviously a floor thing with patches and all of that. Is it Gigatum? Is it plastic or is it metal? Is it robust?
good question.
Do you feel comfortable like taking it out to a bar and somebody standing on it?
These professionals you'll see on YouTube. What's the guy's name? Can't remember his name. I can't remember. He takes it. You can hook it up to an amp, or you can hook it up to a PA system, whatever. Yeah, people do take it.
Yep. I mean, do you think it would survive a bar gig without too much hassle? It's like when people might tread on your stuff.
I utilize 10% of it. I use the software. You can do everything. It's got like 2, 4, 6, 8, like 12 buttons you can press on. I don't even have that. I do everything with the software. You can make a bunch of patches. I don't even. People complain about the default patches suck. Well, I have a bunch that download. You can download off the Line6 site. I only mess around with 4 or 5 patches, and I'm satisfied. After you can do a ton of stuff with it. But I have an AC/DC patch in here. It sounds pretty good to me. And So
you can read that.
What's that?
Susie Cherry's quote is fantastic. I really don't like the attitude of boutique builders. They're arrogant and turn me off. Take your firewood and shove it. Well, it's are you pointing the finger at anybody in particular? So don't answer that. I don't know.
So I like the software.
Does it have
Vancini was mentioned about the Katana. See, when you use the, I think it's called the Boss Studio or something like that. A Tone Studio. It adds more features in it that you won't get. It'll open up more features when you use the software. And I was using that a lot like a couple of years ago when I was doing a lot of my stuff, uploading. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, does it have acoustic guitar simulators in it?
On the good question. I don't even know. That's a good question. I don't know because I know the THR-10X has an acoustic thing in there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll find some clean sounds that I'm using with the.
Yeah. I mean, the beauty of that Boss thing is that it's got quite an array of acoustic guitar simulations. So it's got like a really big thing with loads of chorus and delay and all sorts of stuff on it, which is great. And it's got just one chorus, and it's got a plain one. So if you're going to do, I don't know, "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd, you can play one bit just very plain, and then you can play it again with this like load of effect on it and stuff like that, and you just switch the thing, and it works. It works really well for that. It sounds really good, and I like the fact that I can, if you're going to play. If you're going to do some Tom Petty or do something like that, that you can pick out an acoustic guitar that will fit in with that song. If you're going to play Free Falling or something like that, that you can find an acoustic guitar that will fit in with that quite nicely.
Let me see if
it's not. Yeah. I mean, I recognise that my GT3 is old, and I wouldn't mind upgrading it to some extent. But they all look amazing. These new things look incredible. The GT1000 looks incredible. These Helix things look amazing as well.
There it is underneath my desk. But it's my
flashing lights, Mitch.
It's my audio interface. So
yeah, cool, yeah. Yeah, I just have to, the trouble is, what you want to do is try them out for a few days, don't you? So you want to get one and try it out, kind of thing. So, going in the shop and kind of spending. I don't know if I could or not. I haven't really thought about it, but maybe I need to go to Anderton's, make an appointment, and say I want to come and try out these things. Can you set me up in a room?
Are they close to you? Is Anderton's close to you?
Well, in American terms, yeah, it's about. It's probably 100 miles away, 80 to 100 miles away.
Yeah.
Not that far. You know, I remember in the UK terms, 80 to 100 miles is pretty much the other side of the country.
Our big thing, is Guitar Center. So I got they're about 50 miles from me, two of them.
Yeah.
But
have you got mum and pop stores nearer?
we got one in town. That's where I go, and he's like a couple miles from me. Where I go to have the young guy does my setups, and he does good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Simon, I use a local shop in Bristol. But,
how far is New Zealand? How far are you, Andrew and Simon? How far are you away from each other?
We are diametrically opposed to each other on the globe. So I'm here and Andrew's here. So basically, he's the other side of the world from me. So he's 12,000 miles from me.
But your video looks so good, Andrew. How do you do that now?
It's the wonders of modern technology.
Well, half a world away. Half a world away, my friend.
Yeah, the time difference is, what is it, Friday there now? No, just kidding.
No, but it's Sunday evening. But we're approximately 12 hours.
We're 12 hours apart, aren't we, Andrew and I?
I think you're about 14 here. 14? I don't know. It's 2:20 a.m. here.
What's happened?
Yeah.
Is it mine? I can't hear anybody.
We can hear you, and I can hear each other. It's probably you sound StreamYard's playing up a bit. Are we back? Are you back, Andrew?
I'm getting everybody sounds fine to me.
What's the sign language for? Can you hear me? It's all right. He's probably got a bit of a glitch on. Have you got a glitch on? You can't hear us. Oh, Susie Cho saying she likes high watts.
You hear us, Andrew?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
We hear you.
What's happened?
Yeah, we can. Can you hear us, Andrew? Obviously not. I'll just message him. Hold on. We can. Oh. Now what's going on? Can you still hear me, Mitch?
I can't.
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Simon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew can't hear us by the sound of it. Can you not hear us, Andrew?